I worry about the Rift. It's not supposed to gobble up Arcadia for years, and I'm sure something else will kill you way before then.
You still upright over there?
Oh, what's this? Non-protectorate personnel just sauntering up onto my porch, free as they please. Admit I'm accustomed to a higher standard of precaution. State your purpose, outsider, or exit yon way you came. Ah, I see you've discovered some of my misappropriated materials. Careful labeling proves prudent and useful yet again. Here, for your effort. A full set of Science Adventures Quarterly was stolen from me and sold to various unknown parties across the island. Since you've already proven adept at their repossession, I would put it to you to locate the rest. In exchange, I will provide you with rarities and bits. In my role, I compile material providing special insight on other colonies. Items prohibited to others, news logs, serials, and the like. During recent troubles, unsavory elements removed certain items from my old office. Among them, this entire series, which took considerable time to assemble, I might add. The Ministry of Accuracy, over the hill from here, where I formerly operated before the invasion. It is currently unoccupied by humans leastways. However, that, while unfortunate, remains inapplicable to matters at hand. Sources placed them briefly in the hands of sub-Rosa black marketeers. Yet who sold the materials to them or where they went afterward remains a mystery. The line represented a growth of the medium, from the less sophisticated, two-bit dreadful, both in style and effectiveness. Its remarkable popularity not only mirrored a rise in public sentiment against greedy corporations and tyrannical governments across colonies. The brief window surrounding the volume's release saw a marked increase in skip drone requests for Earth Directorate aid. I believe there remains much to learn from them. It was a popular fiction periodical from not long ago. Each of its 10 volumes featured an exhilarating cover illustration depicting Zane and Buddy's thrilling exploits. Whether they faced automechanical industrialists or robber magnates from the Plutocrian kleptocracy, their tales remained invigorating thrill rides. Ah, quite right. In fact, delightful. I am pleased you are on the case, as it were. So very Zane and Buddy. Return again when you have another 4 volumes, and I will trade them for more valuable oddities. Stay true, outsider.
You see any drones? Don't feel shy about bringing them down. That is the best damn news I've heard all day. Make sure to collect your reward at the bounty terminal if you haven't already. No use in leaving well-earned bits on the table. Merciful law, is this? Tell me you did not steal my performance review, soldier. We could be court-martialed for even looking. No, I am not gonna look. I'll wait for the reviews to be distributed along the proper channels, and... Oh, hell. This is worse than the last one. Promotion denied? No, this has to be a mistake. How can Officer Carr claim I don't understand supply and demand regarding shifting market urgency? That's unfair. And that lowered our burial fees. Carr clearly doesn't understand my value, but you do. Well, the next review period's right around the corner. Suppose it's never too late to tidy up my reputation. Take this for your trouble. While I learn my lesson, you might as well profit off my shortcomings. Better now that you've thinned the herd of drones. Or would you call that a swarm? Either way, real shame about my performance review. I thought I was doing better. Not according to Carr, at least.
Would pulverizing them suffice? No, I could liquefy them. Apply heat and congeal them into kibble no beast could resist. Oh, Ethel, darling, you're a genius. Approach with less haste next time, won't you? Copernicus may be tame, but he still doesn't take kindly to being startled. Oh, well, I do appreciate that there is at least one other person on this planet looking out for her. But I'll not speak of her health without her present. You understand? You don't know? But I thought everyone in Fairfield knew of... Oh, right. I see what you're trying to do. This is top secret. We must speak in riddles to safeguard our findings, yes? Should I use code names too? The subterfuge is so exciting. Thank the law you knew to enforce protocol, lest I blabber corporate secrets to the wrong person. No, wait. You're not one of Auntie's choice. Oh, so you are one of the clandestine troopers they talk about in the serials. Incredible. Don't worry, your secret is safe with me. I am Ethel Tinsley, chimeric scientist. I'm responsible for taming this delightful raptidon here. He will protect our fair town from his feral brethren in the wilds. Theoretically, Officer Carr has been in a state waiting for me to train the raptidons to, maul on command. It's rather pressing, and alas, one scientist-turned-tamer can only do so much. One might say I'm perhaps a bit on edge. Folk here have grown weary, shall we say, with the war effort, and with avoiding Carr and the Minister's would-be fisticuffs. If you too have spotted the chasm between them, I fear the Protectorate have already pinpointed the way with which to exploit it. I'm unused to the way things are done here, I suppose. The Protectorate leadership never behaved in such a manner. Which I would not mind if the threat of annihilation weren't hanging over us so. I am accustomed to decisive and unanimous action. Not this. And yet, I would much rather stay here, continue my work, and hope my leaders can reach an accord. Challenging though it may be, one wishes to woo Protectorate subjects to our ranks. The other wishes to secure a decisive victory with weaponry and technology. As for which approach is best, I wish I knew. I see. I hope his spirits may be sustained. I have grown fond of the Minister, but I cannot help but wonder if he fully understands how proud the Protectorate are. It takes great courage or desperation to acknowledge the wrongs of one's society, and even more to leave it entirely. He may find that courage to be rarer than he thinks, or perhaps he will manage to prove me wrong with his powers of persuasion yet again. How I would welcome it in this case. Very well. I ought to focus more on my work than on social tensions anyhow. I work directly with Officer Carr and her soldiers to ensure they're outfitted with the best Raptidon counterparts Paradise Island can provide. In theory, they'll be trusted to guard our most precious assets, including our leadership. For now, they deter encroachment from wild Raptidons. It's most agreeable. Trust me, they are safer here than out in the wilds. I have been reprimanded thrice now for undue pampering. I would not be here if this experiment was still causing needless suffering.
所以我应该要回去把那个带过来吗？在哪边呢？好像在这边，把它带过来吗？带过来这边修复吗？
Might I have a word, Commander? I know I've been pushing to find DeVries, so this might seem a bit of a left turn. But void it. I'm just gonna ask. Got an old friend here on the island. The doctor who patched me up after Horizon Point. Ex-Protectorate, a good man. Given what we heard of Westport's troubles from Milver Street, I'd appreciate checking in on him. Briefly, of course. Not sure he'd still consider me such, but that's part and parcel of the reason I want to see him. I had some bad years on my own. Now with you here, being part of a team, this might sound a mite soppy, but I feel like I could be a proper agent again. That starts with writing accounts. This friend of mine, Zebulon Tran, I let him down. And I've been chewing on that live wire for a while. Too long, maybe. After I recovered from Horizon Point, Zeb and I ran together for a spell, doing what we could to help folks in difficult spots. Fighting protectorate tyranny in small ways. Too small for Zeb, as it turned out. He was unhappy before I showed up, and after, well, all my directorate talk fired him up even more. I had my orders. I was to stay low. Couldn't let the protectorate catch wind of an Earth Directorate agent in its midst. But Zeb, he kept pushing to take more extreme action. Wasn't like I didn't want to take things farther, hit the protectorate where it hurt. But I still had my cover to think of too. I couldn't risk disrupting the mission. I'd feel better about that commendation if things hadn't turned out as they did. We worked hard, but the protectorate's arbiters and sentinels worked harder. Often than not, our help only made targets of the folks whose lives we were trying to improve. Didn't matter what we did. Arcadia was still caught under the protectorate's boot. Figure you say as much, but I'll admit, after 10 years in this colony, it's getting harder to argue an opposing view. Anyway, things weren't good. Zeb and I couldn't find the rhythm we had before. We were arguing every day. Eventually, cutting ties just seemed for the best. Clean like. Only later I learned Zeb hadn't given up the struggle like I assumed he would. He got to stay in mental refreshment for his trouble. That's the last I heard of him, till recent. If it weren't for Zeb, I'd be in the ground. It's a debt I never properly repaid. Plus, I don't relish his last memory of me being a vanishing act. I owe him better. And since finding you, well, a lot feels possible now that didn't before. Much appreciated, Commander. Promise, I won't be making a habit of pulling skeletons out of my closet. Westport's on the east side of the island. I tracked Zeb to somewhere on its outskirts, but never got up the nerve to visit before now. We ought to start there.
I must say, I have many reservations about this. The Protectorate has always provided for us. For what reason would we forsake such a stable and safe way of life?
Because, friend, with the Protectorate, you're only surviving. With Antes, you'll be thriving.
So your superiors order you to thrive?
No. It's just something you can do on your own. You'll have bosses and employers, but it's up to you to get yourself to the top and make yourself the employer.
I see. And why would I want to do such a thing? Surely my assigned place would provide me with all the necessities of life?
Yes. But you could have more necessities, and even some unnecessaries.
For what reason would I desire material possessions which are, by definition, unnecessary? And while we're on the topic, what are you potentially gaining from recruiting me?
That's one of the best parts, chum. When you sign someone else up, you get a bits bonus.
I see. This free market idea, seemingly not without merit. I'll require some time to ponder this.
Of course, friend. 2 days, 3 hours, of looking for contracts.
It's not a totally baseless idea. That should totally be annihilated, just like all capitalist propaganda. Praise the matriarch!
Outsider?
Agent Ibarra, you failed to take your daily supplements 3 days in a row. Vitamins are a vital tool in aiding wound healing and achieving your long-term health goals.
We've talked about this, Val. Ain't polite airing folks' private health information in front of others.
If oral capsules are not your preferred delivery method, suppositories may be a viable alternative.
All right. I'll take the damn supplements. The normal ones. And maybe I'll examine your courtesy settings while I'm at it.
know when you need a distraction.
Take a look at those corpses they've got strung up. Wait. Some aren't dead yet.
Decomposition rate, 12 to 17%.
Didn't really need to know that. Let's just respect the dead or very slowly dying, shall we?
I got a job to do, and it ain't talking to out-of-towners.
Anyone got lamps on Schultz? Anyone? Floyd be damned. Sallying into the wire like that with nary a wish in her pocket? What was she thinking? Did I not make clear our orders to hold the line here regardless of provocation? Should my instructions have been more robust? Perhaps assisted by pictures?
I'm afraid there's more bad news, Commander. She also took Scrabbles, sir.
Would that he'd done her more good. Seems Calamity has claimed 2 good soldiers today. You there. I don't normally sanction nameless passers-by giving ear to my private discourse. That right. Earth Directorate. Not many would claim such affiliation these days. None from Arcadia have the knowledge to lie about it. What's your business at the Vox? Sounds serious. Were it in my power to offer aid, you'd have it. Alas. Whatever your purpose, I feel a contractual obligation to warn you against setting a heel past this base. If you go any further, you go alone and at your own peril. No Antes forces are permitted beyond the forward position upon pain of disemployment and possible litigation. Our orders are to sit and mind the store for as long as need be. First Officer Schultz's decision to enter the minefield was not sanctioned, approved, or encouraged. Frankly, I have no idea why she defied orders. Schultz was a good soldier, admirable sense of duty, less than optimal eyesight. Her loss will be felt in this unit. If only she had recognized the merits of our post. By steadfastly holding the line here, we forestall any retribution the Protectorate would seek to inflict upon Fairfield. And we will continue said watch until orders change. I'd thank you to affix some ballast to that name when you speak it. Scrabbles has been integral to this unit's success for years. Outsiders may see him as a toy, but we've bled alongside that stuffed sprat. He's damn near family. Schultz obviously knew the risks and hoped he'd protect her through the minefield. Alas, even Scrabble's power has limits. Still would help morale to get him back, though. I'll pardon your skepticism given your lack of acquaintance, and say only this. Ask not what Scrabbles achieves for us, but what we can achieve with him. I half believed you meant that offer. Unless you weren't being playful. I confess, the challenge of holding the forward position does not satisfy, as might a straight-on tussle. But I would prefer to avoid staining my reputation by participating in such a needless blunder. Carr was, shall we say, non-ambiguous with her orders. Such an argument isn't as compelling as you believe. The soldier who does not consider defeat all but guarantees it. Far be it from me to speak poorly of a superior, but I have pondered over her choices as of late. She's been sullen about sharing her strategy, too. Still, however brightly my star burns, I remain in her orbit. She is my superior officer. I defied her once, and I received the verbal tanning of a lifetime for it. I will take action when action is appropriate, and I'd suggest you modulate your tone more appropriately the next time we speak.
You seen Gary anywhere? No, he went off to relieve himself, but I reckon that was a handful of hours ago. You don't think he took it literal, like when we told him to jump in a rift, do you? He couldn't be.
We're closed. Did you not hear me? This place is closed. No learning today about how everything happens according to the obscure calculus of an indecipherable plan. Why are you asking? Who are you?
The people she tried to kill.
The architect. I had no idea. I wish I could say it was unbelievable. I was afraid she was becoming a danger to herself and to others. But this is horrifying.
Yeah, imagine how we feel. Why don't you tell us where she is so we can make sure she ain't being a danger to herself or others?
And how are you going to do that?
That ain't something you ought to be concerning yourself about.
If you think I'm going to help you do what I think you're talking about, you are deluded. It is of no matter, regardless. I do not know where she is. I haven't seen her since before the corporatists invaded the island. I'm afraid she's going to do something terrible, but I just don't know what. Maybe none of this would have happened had I not introduced her to Victor. How did... You saw her terminal, didn't you? Victor's an Order archivist. We were all friends for a time. But then, shortly before the schism, they started talking to some others inside the Order. That's when things became tense. I started to become uneasy, scared, really. She kept getting angrier with the Order the more she worked with Victor and her other contacts. On top of everything else, it became just too much for me. Among other things. For some reason, she was obsessed with the cliffhanger ending of Chapter 6. It was the one where capitalist fanatics brought complete destruction upon Arcadia. But you know how it works. It was somehow miraculously saved at the beginning of the next chapter. Didn't matter to DeVries, though. She just kept going over it and over it. Would have talked to a Crabble about it if there was no one else to listen. That, and the invasion itself, set her mind to dark things. I begged her not to go down that road again. She was so agitated when I first met her. Must have been 7, going on 8 years ago now. She never slept, didn't talk to anyone if she could avoid it. After we became friends, she began to change. Still bothered her from time to time, but I thought it mostly behind her. I couldn't watch her go back to how she'd been. Or worse. No. But it had to be someone's fault, right? The Protectorate couldn't possibly have failed to safeguard the colony. And they had to answer the accusations the Order leveled at them. We became friends when she... well, she saved me. I'd said something without thinking. Must have been distracted. We all know to watch every last word we say. For some reason, she interceded on my behalf with an arbiter, and she convinced him he didn't hear what he actually did. No one does that. Void, I didn't think anyone could. We all were, originally, before the schism. But she never gave it up, even when it became illegal to even mention their name. Which was surprising with how angry she seemed to be getting with them, even as she was deep into scheming with Victor and the others. She even continued to sign her messages, "See you in the equation." It's all so confusing. What do you mean? It was where she worked, one of the Protectorate's communications hubs. She didn't speak of it much, at least to me. She may have spoken to Victor about it.
She ain't the only one.
It's difficult to explain. She spoke about things in unfamiliar ways. I felt her words to be freeing, at first. But slowly, I began to feel unmoored, doubting everything I ever knew. She said learning the truth of things was worth it. But now I question whether her truth was just more of her penchant to sow chaos, no matter who may be caught in her schemes. Some days I wish I'd never listened to her at all. Others, I can't help but miss her. Even with everything.
Know a little something about that, too.
I did try to. Once. After the corporatists invaded Paradise Island and took over Fairfield. They seemed to let anyone in there. Some boisterous fellow even tried to recruit me. No. Nearest I could surmise, she'd left just prior to the fall of Fairfield. I'm ashamed to admit, I did break into her safe. She used the same code for everything. 15-778.
That is Agent DeVries's identification code, Commander.
She said it had some meaning from her previous life. I'd hoped she'd left something for me, but the safe was empty. I know I've no right to ask this of you, but when you find her, please remind her of who she used to be. She's unwell, but I know there's still hope for her. That's all I can ask. Welcome back to my chapel of fear and futility.
No offense to Val, but it's real nice having someone watching my back who ain't in constant need of recalibration. Anyway, need something, Commander?
Stay out of the minefield if you value your limbs. I'll be spaced. Scrabbles! And hardly the worse for wear! You've no grasp of what his return means to this unit. Scrabbles was originally a gift from my daughter. He fought with us during the Consolidation War, and has seen this squad through every hard deployment since leaving Tau Ceti. He's also packed with some of the finest grade stimulants this side of legal. Here, for your trouble. Livener like that comes in handy when you're in a pinch. While we appreciate you returning Scrabbles, you'll not provoke me into a course of unwise action if that's your aim. Milver Street's always rambling about signs. Suppose this might fall under one such category. For the sake of discussion, let's say that I agree to this enterprise. Such non-compliance is unlikely to go over well with my direct report. How do you propose I handle Carr? Auntie Cleo does indeed place a greater value on ingenuity and forward thinking. I see no reason why she would not reward such initiative here. That decides it. I'll make a full account of my actions after the bridge has been neutralized and victory secured. Forthwith, as soon as we fortify ourselves, of course. Troopers, to me! We need to prepare. Our attack is imminent. We'll pay those bastards back for Schultz. This is what we've been waiting for, troopers. What all those days and nights of trial readied us for. We're delivering death, free of charge. Forward to victory, profits, and the furtherance of Auntie's glorious enterprise. Show these hellions how Auntie's... Auntie's choice handles its business.
With you, Commander. Covering my parts.
Time to fill our dance card, troopers.
I weep for the bullets I must expend on these fools.
Remain vigilant.
The fight resumes.
Quarry found.
Let's see what's causing that rush. Popping magazines.
I may be just a gear, yet my teeth are sharp. Contact lost. Normally around here is...
Getting proactive.
Protectorate endures.
Remaining hostiles detected in the area.
Being this close to anyway. Need something, Command? Sure. Always have.
The bridge is ours, and with nary a scratch to show for it. Thanks for your contributions to this great and honorable endeavor. For as long as we hold the bridge, safe passage is yours.
Bathroom break. Can't complain about your contract if you don't negotiate.
Prisoner 349893933A. There is no place for you in the Paradigm. You are hereby sentenced to death for the crimes of desertion and opposing the lawful authority of the Protectorate.
No! Wait, I beg you. That's the one you need to worry about. That is not important.
This unit has finished compiling the comprehensive report on the commander you requested, Agent Ibarra.
Oh, thanks. But I didn't request a report.
This request is over 3,470 days old and was initially issued prior to the mission on Horizon Point.
Oh, shit! Delete that. It's most likely to have outdated information anyway.
Acknowledged. Purging the commander's favorite colors, foods, and activities report.
No offense to Val. Anyway, need something, Commander? Sure. Always happy to tool around for a bit. What did you have in mind?
Engaging combat protocols.
Look at a few courts low, Commander.
Resuming hostilities.
所以不能直接这样子打哦，这样子会死得很快。
Your Valerie unit requires service.
所以有可能要从下面潜入哦，而不是这样子打。因为这个没办法标注哦。所以不能从这边打，这边打会死得很快，所以我要从另外一个方向走了。啊，不行，这边过不去。突然想到了，这边过不去。这边是海，这边过不去。过不去。啊，所以还是要正面打进去吗？ 先执行其他的任务好了。看样子这个一下子进不去。这是什么？
Auntie's Choice knows that a better you is just 3 pills and an ointment away.
This stretch runs between Fairfield and the Eastern Forward Operating Base. North of here is an old abandoned chapel. Dang, I ought to be charging for information.
Careful of friendly fire if you head down past the farm. Last time we wandered past, they opened fire on us. A real code 472. 472 means they're gonna fill anything that moves full of holes.
If you're wondering why there's so many engineers sitting here on their rears, it's because the dang Crabbles ran us out of the desalinator.
I don't even want to think about the damage those Crabbles are going to do to my machines.
They're Crabbles. They ain't gonna do nothing to your precious terminal. Only thing they're a danger to was us.
Yeah, you may have the right of it. I just ain't certain.
Yes, you. I am trapped inside the research lab at the former site of the Eden's Bounty Agri-Center. You must help me. You must! My subordinates have become homicidally irritable, though remain unaccountable for their actions. Find me in the renovated grain silo. Help me formulate a cure.
Scout report. Yes, sir. Looks like the repair center is still out of order, sir. Excellent. At ease, Scout. Glad to hear that they haven't managed to repair it, even if Command has temporarily put the actual fighting to a stop.
Eden's Bounty Agri-Center. You must help me. You must. My subordinates have become homicidally irritable, though remain unaccountable for their actions. Find me in the renovated grain silo. Help me formulate a cure. Hello? Calling out to any random, non-kill crazed passerby who can hear this? Yes, you. I am trapped inside the research lab at the former site of the Eden's Bounty Agri-Center. You must help.
Who goes there? By orders of Marshal Donaldson, no one comes or goes to the Automech Repair Center without approval. What's your business here? Oh, jeez. Weren't you paying attention? This is the Automech Repair Center. The name itself encompasses our mission, our identity, and our purpose. And if you weren't already aware of us, I'm guessing you have no business here.
Now you've done it. Slowing down a ranking protectorate official is worth 10, 20 demerits if you're lucky.
All right, let's not lose our heads over a simple misunderstanding. You're free to pass. Marshal Donaldson likes to greet new arrivals personally. We'll let him know you're inbound, so no one shoots on sight. Oh, and fair warning, watch out for xeranium gas. We sprung a leak. How observant of you. One more thing. Don't cause any trouble around these parts. Donaldson runs a tight ship and has zero tolerance for lawbreakers.
All that matters is getting these automechs to the Vox relay station.
But Marshal, we must adhere to decontamination procedures.
What in the name of the architect? Oh, right. My guards told me to expect a new arrival, right before our chief mechanist decided to harangue me with the latest on our catastrophe.
Marshal, you're acting as though I'm not standing here auguring the impending doom of this facility.
Woodrow, normally I would be obliged, nay, happy, to receive your senseless jawing, but not today. Perhaps this outsider can assist where you've failed. I hope you've come to help, because a crisis is bearing down on us, and I've a dearth of reliable hands with which to manage it. You see, Woodrow, why at this rate, we'll have the facility up and running in little to no time.
That's what scares me, Marshal.
Like you, me and my consternated head technician are new arrivals. Though we may not last long if we fail to repair the uranium leak. I wouldn't have put it in those terms, but I appreciate someone who speaks their mind. The Vox relay station needs our automechs. But until that leak is fixed, this facility is a target for the sport of Auntie's armaments. Delphinia Bryant is working on a prototype Zeranium shield. Whoever uses it will be less disposable and more useful to the Protectorate. What did I tell you, Woodrow? The situation's well in hand.
Marshal, those automechs have been corrupted with uranium. I can't even cogitate on what they're capable of if we lack the time or resources to approach this rationally. Should they go berserk, we may well be turning the very subject you intend to resupply into their victims. We'd be branded as traitors.
Then perhaps you had better explain to Brigadier Montelli why his defenses are grounded. And you can do so personally, in the comfort of his office.
Montelli? I rescind my objection. May the delicate workings of the paradigm point us toward a better way.
There's a good fellow. Cleave to your loyalty, and it will never steer you wrong.
Give me a sec. Almost done with this work list. Another sealant failure, amplifier requisition, and 2 more cases of Zeranium exposure. We're a mite bit busy these days. The Marshal is under a lot of pressure to deliver automechs to the Vox relay station, but I'm responsible for their quality control. If even a single automech steps out of line, it will be the end of me. Brigadier Montelli does not accept excuses, and he does not tolerate failure. The Marshal is a good man, but he values speed while I value accuracy. Neither of us is wrong, but in this case, we both can't be right. You want to see the quartermaster. She's right next to the gate you entered through. Under the Marshal's office, she'll only be able to sell you our surplus, but you might find some of it useful.
Greetings, potential customer. State your business. This unit was engineered to facilitate management of supply inventory at this installation.
Oh, this is surely exciting. Someone is finally trying out my automechanical quartermaster. Show them what you got, quartermech.
Command not understood.
Huh. I thought that would have put it into sales mode. Best look into that later. Please, give it a try yourself.
All wares should be perfectly visible already.
Sorry, it tends to take things too literally. Maybe try phrasing the request differently.
Lull detected. Conversational status uncomfortable. Request not understood.
It only understands the words I've added to its databanks. You wouldn't believe how many words there are for buying and selling. Guess I missed peruse. Look, for now, just use the phrase initiate commerce. It's what I used during the initial testing.
Initiating commerce.
I hope.
Whatever you're peddling, I'll never purchase.
I suppose a demonstration is in order. Lower managers, bring in Redcoat's turn. Sentinel Dunning. Strap him into the brand loyalizer. No. You were supposed to deliver both Redcoats. It was stipulated in our contract.
Might be wise to give that large gas cloud a wide berth. Don't think there's anything to gain by getting near it.
Welcome. Glad to have you back.
Not sure we should get any closer.
A new arrival. Oh, and what's this? You, I dare say, are exhibiting clear signs of Zeranium exposure, stranger. Fortunately for you, you appear to have a fairly mild case. I imagine you haven't even noticed any symptoms yet. If you'd indulge me, I have a few questions I'd like to ask, for medical posterity, and so on and so forth. First question, can you describe the conditions in which you were exposed to the Zeranium? Indeed, someone lacking a trained eye would have missed the symptoms. However, I happen to specialize in this particular malady. All right, next question. How are you feeling? For instance, do your bones seem noticeably softer somehow? Have you observed any sterility on your way in? Or aching in your thyroid or spleen? Well, good for you. Keeping a positive attitude can often aid your recovery. I wish more of my patients shared your optimistic disposition. As a token of my appreciation, allow me to provide you advanced Zeranium therapy of the highest possible quality. There, that should do it. Do stop back in if you suffer additional exposure. I would love, be pleased to act as your consulting physician again, should the need arise. Oh, gladly. I've rather dedicated my life to researching its unique form of matter. What would you like to know? Zeranium is a crystal. Even in its raw form, it generates energy. But once refined and stored in a quasi-gaseous state, its output increases exponentially. Zeranium is found in a liquid state as well, but it's far too hazardous and inefficient for our needs. Refined Zeranium is used to power nearly all major Protectorate technology. It's an amazingly efficient power source. However, it's also highly unstable and must be mined exceedingly carefully. Even minor bumps or jolts can cause Zeranium crystals to explode. Zeranium in its default crystalline state poses two risks. First, it's extremely volatile, exploding with an immense burst of energy if upset in any way. Second, Zeranium crystals produce a small amount of gas, which we think helps stabilize its crystalline lattice, but that's just a theory. In this gaseous state, Zeranium is quite hazardous, breaking down organic matter through a mechanism we still don't quite understand. The concentration of the gas is a critical factor. A person could remain in a light haze for several minutes, whereas a dense cloud can kill near instantly. Anyhow, I could talk about this all day if I let myself. Hope I haven't bored you unduly. Was there anything else I could help you with? Total avoidance is best, but try to get out of the Zeranium as quickly as you can if exposure becomes necessary. Come to think of it, there may be some exciting new breakthroughs in the near future. Our visiting scientist next door is working on a device that shields the user from Zeranium's effects, though she was having a spot of trouble last I heard. Don't have much to spare, but you're free to have a look.
What brings you to this fine establishment?
Caught a piece of shrapnel during the attack. What about you?
Xeranium poisoning. Only a mild case, but the doctors are withholding treatment to study my symptoms.
Sovereign. How do you feel?
Downright privileged is how I feel. Sick with pride, nauseous with courage, and crying with honor.
Prudence dictates we cherish all we have. We defend it.
First the attack, then the Xeranium. At this rate, we're never getting caught up.
Outer chassis sealant test number 14 is confirmed a failure. Xeranium exposure rate appears to be unaffected. Test model displayed standard overload-induced paralysis, then became atypically aggressive. Forced to terminate test model in self-defense.
Oh yes, I adore interruptions. I was just saying, what's best for stoking the spark of invention? Regular disruptions to one's train of thought. Now what is it you want? Ah, our good Marshal sent you, did he? Well, unfortunately, the device is taking longer than expected. A number of factors. Xeranium is dangerous, and we wouldn't want a researcher falling victim to their subject of study. The scarcity of volunteers is also a problem. Everyone wants to fix the gas leak, but no one wants to step inside a hazardous vapor. Now tell me, are you familiar with Xeranium gas? One and the same. That building took the brunt of the damage during a recent attack, and now it's spewing valuable Xeranium all over the place. I could speak at length about Xeranium's many captivating intrinsic qualities, but suffice it to say, in its gaseous state, it's rather deadly. So what am I endeavoring to create? A protective device that shields its wearer from Xeranium's remarkably unsavory effects, as well as other forms of harm. Quite splendidly, if I do say so myself. The principal function of the device is confirmed operational. I merely need to work out some minor implementation concerns. Alas, while I'm occupied with inventing this shield gadget, I also find myself in need of assistance regarding its key components. Good, good, wonderful. As an added incentive, I'll allow you to keep one of the prototypes once the work is finished, so you be sure to give it your all. Now here, you'll need this apparatus. It's for collecting stray Xeranium effluvium. Gas, that is. My supply is running low from all the iterative testing I've been performing. Merely activate the device once it's inside a Xeranium cloud, the one around the main hangar specifically. Try to avoid any fields of dense Xeranium, or death is all but assured. Any questions? Normally, yes, but on the off chance that environmental exposure has altered the gas here in any way, I'll want to work with local samples. Ideally, the resulting shielding will protect against any gas, but since it's of utmost importance that it work on the gas here, I'll be calibrating against that. Well, of course, obviously. To that end, I'd suggest choosing a cloud of lesser density for your collection efforts. Lower chance of near-instant death that way. If you suffer prolonged exposure, assuming you survive, see our local medical officer next door. She is highly preoccupied by the treatment of Xeranium-related maladies. I believe that covers all the necessary education for this particular assignment. Oh, so exhilarating to have a new subordinate. I look forward to thoroughly scrutinizing your work. Now, shoo-shoo! Off with you now! Gather those samples! Shoo!
Warning. Agent. Irreparable damage to lungs imminent. Exit get gaseous. Gland immediately.
My little minion. I trust you've made progress in your tasks? What did I tell you? Perfectly safe. Either that or you tolerate Zeranium poisoning like a champ. Good for you. Should you suffer from any lingering symptoms of contamination, visit the medical center and they'll get you squared away. Now, on to business. The device already generates a field exactly as specified, albeit on a very small scale. Still, progress is progress. What's needed now is something to help extend and shape the field around the user. I require a component called a catalytic amplifier. You'll be pleased to learn there's one right here at the facility, in the Dragoon that's patrolling just outside. Catalytic amplifiers are a somewhat outdated technology, available only in older model Dragoons. Unfortunately for me, our chief mechanist, Woodrow, wasn't enthusiastic about my proposal to gild his only combat automech. So you may have trouble getting your hands on the catalytic amplifier. Dragoons are a mainstay of our military. The design has been in production for decades. I had a model of one when I was young. All children did. You must have seen the large automech patrolling the interior grounds. That is the Dragoon. I'm sure he's just being cautious. Should Auntie's choice attack us, we don't want to be caught defenseless. No doubt he also seeks to retain an unspoiled automech, since the others are by now riddled with Zeranium poisoning. Good. A flexible mindset should behoove you on this task. Perhaps the chief mechanist will prove more receptive to your request. Failing that, be prepared to exercise creativity if needed. One last thing. The Dragoon must not be harmed. Not only would the amplifier likely be damaged, but we'd both be summarily executed, assuming we survive the firefight that ensued. Well, off you go. Shoo.
Yes? She and I have been over this 100 times. Please understand, the original staff of this facility were rounded up and refreshed because they couldn't safeguard a protectorate asset. Why should I follow their example by reducing our sole working Dragoon to a pile of unpatriotic scrap? I can't. I won't. That's a fair point. It's not as if they've come back to finish the job. Perhaps they assume we're already beaten. All right, how's about we get the Dragoon situated over here, so I can extract its vital organ? One catalytic amplifier as agreed. I hate to lose another Dragoon, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Not a chance. Donaldson has done everything in his power to get this facility online. He can't blame me for doing the same. Be seeing you, stranger.
Well, any closer to obtaining the catalytic amplifier? Superb. I'm almost tempted to ask how you managed it. But pressing on. Just a moment to remove what I need and install it in the prototype. With this gadget, you'll be shielded against more than Zeranium, you know. Damn near everything, as long as it's charged. Now, report to Marshal Donaldson, if you please. He's rather impatient to end this crisis so he can turn his focus back to the war. Don't thank me. Just doing my part for the sake of the paradigm, same as anyone.
Ah, you're back. And you've been cavorting with Zeranium again, by the looks of things. Certainly, there is a nominal cost for treatment to cover essentials. All right then, hold perfectly still. There, all better. Was there anything else you needed?
Did the authorities send you? Did my torrent of messages finally convince them of the vast crab-like dangers near at hand? What a relief. In here I thought myself dismissed as a loon. Well, I speak of the Krabbles, of course. You must have spied those nefarious crabbles, roiling, rippling, bubbling, and churning out in the water. No one at the facility believes me, but I've seen it with my own eyes. Crabble numbers have swelled as they gather to defy us. A consortium, nay, an army! Oh, you're right. I could be a secret Crabble and not even know it. Crabbles are the bane of Arcadia. Strong, intelligent, and superior to us in every way. You actually believe me? No, stranger. Thank you. With your confidence and support, I believe the Crabble threat can and will be defeated. Remain strong, and together we will outlast the Crabble!
I'm glad that spectacle didn't scare you off. Between the recent attacks and the gas leak, you find us on the razor's edge between reason and panic. Whether or not you're able to help us, I'm grateful to have an extra set of eyes on the problem. Zeranium is hardly my area of expertise, but it falls to me to find a solution, lest I follow my predecessors to their untimely fate. What happens to any member of the Protectorate who falls short of fulfilling their lifelong oaths of service? Execution for the unworthy, and mental refreshment for the salvageable and the stalwart. Dereliction of duty is a heavy offense, and no lesser sentence will fit the crime. I hold myself to the highest standard, but this Zeranium leak, it threatens all that I hold dear. Ha! You cut straight to the point. This facility has been through many a trial and tribulation, but the war is not finished with us yet. What it needs is stable, consistent leadership, and I can't be that if I'm dead of Zeranium poisoning. What else would disrupt the harmony of our perfect system? Auntie's choice, of course. A chance shot hit the wrong pipe early into their assault. Zeranium wreaks havoc on automechanicals. Every combat-ready mech in the repair hangar was overcharged and beset with behavioral problems. Further damage soon occurred. Had I the resources, I would have sent wave after wave of engineers into the facility until one of them flipped the correct switch. Alas, the tragedy unfolded before my time here, and resources were slim. The situation is deteriorating rapidly, and I need that gas leak fixed. Otherwise, my automechs might as well be paperweights. While I trust that Brigadier Montelli has everything well in hand, that assurance does not alleviate the grim tidings felt in the pit of my bowels. Loyalty and instinct run hand in hand. I'm a protectorate man, after all. So why should I be ill at ease, despite our stalwart chain of command and dependable kin at the helm? No matter. My unease is nothing when measured against the strength of the protectorate. This facility's purpose is the maintenance of automechanicals. When the war kicked off, it became a military asset, and I am its second steward. The old staff should have laid down their lives to repel Auntie's choice. For their failure of loyalty and grit, they were punished, and rightly so. Now, their burden is mine, but I won't allow my unit to suffer the same fate. I knew Dr. Bryant would come through for us, that she'd prove her worth as surely as any subject of the Protectorate would. Seeing as you're the only one trained in the use of that gadget, what say you put it through its paces? Make your way inside the repair hangar and find the control terminal to purge the Zeranium. And be careful with that terminal. We don't want the situation getting any worse. Don't worry about Woodrow. Smart fellow, but his cautious nature gets in the way. Yes, there is some risk that exposure to Zeranium will corrupt our automechs, to use his colorful language. That shouldn't stop us from delivering them on time. I'm sure they'll be scrubbed clean once they arrive at the Vox relay. But that isn't our problem to solve. You be sure and come back once you've made progress on the leak.
Awaiting orders. How may this unit assist you, Commander?
Let me know when you need it to stretch.
I hope you brought me good news, outsider. At last, the tide is shifting. Today, we fix our automechanicals. Tomorrow, we push the unprincipled interlopers of Auntie's choice into the sea. You've done us a great service, stranger, and I would see your efforts rewarded. Alas, we don't have much to offer since our supplies are so low. I hope these bits will suffice. We confiscated them from the corpses of the scouts who attempted to infiltrate this facility a few weeks back. It carries the invaders' taint, but it should spend just the same. The pleasure was mine. The automechs we sent out will be a great asset to the Vox relay station. Now I can show our chief mechanist that he was wrong, and a little uranium poisoning won't do those automechs any harm. Hello again, stranger. Know that you were always welcome here.
My erstwhile assistant returns. To what do I owe the pleasure? Until a more convenient date and time.